going somewhere. Greener pastures, new sunrises, rolling down the ribbon of the road.
Long ago, I decided I was going to have a job where I was always going somewhere.
Hey, Roy, where are we going this morning?
What do you care, as long as it's someplace different?
And man, I got me that kind of a job. Apprentice lineman, full-line construction outfit, contractor who builds distribution power lines and big transmission lines. And in the 2 years I've been on this job, we've been going somewhere all the time. When you start out to be a lineman, you're really biting something off.
Wow, would you look at that boy, Klein? Ain't he getting good?
Yeah, you look like a regular ring-tailed baboon.
Watch it up there now. Don't get no nosebleed this morning.
There's something about working up in the air. You're more a part of the sky than the ground. It gets in your blood. And you sure envy that journeyman lineman. When he gets on that pole, nobody's looking over his shoulder. No way. That first year that you're an apprentice, you just help the journeyman and stay away from those wires. You got a lot to learn, but you've already come a long way working as a groundman. And the interview, wow, that interview really counts. Half the interview board is union, IBEW. The other half is management, members of the National Electrical Contractors Association. And they really look you over. Your school record, high school degree or equivalent. And they want to be sure that you're physically strong and agile, and that you're willing to work for that journeyman's card, because you got to work for it, bookwork and all. You think you understood electricity before. Man, now you really go at it. Just learning the names is something. You learn what a hot stick is, part of learning how to keep the job safe. Then you start telling a substation transformer from a pole-type transformer. You learn circuit breakers, big and small. And you start recognizing capacitors, lightning arresters, disconnect switches, cutouts, reclosers, insulators, and safety gear of all kinds. Use that safety gear right, and working hot wires is no more dangerous than driving your car. It's confusing at first, and a little tougher if you're working too far from regular classes and have to do the bookwork by correspondence. But after a while, you start getting the hang of it. Apprenticeship adds up to 3 years, but after just 1 year, you take the biggest step of all.
Soup tells me you completed your second 6 months this morning. I guess we'll have to take a chance on you. Here you go.
Thank you.
Your rubber gloves. That means you've proved you're ready to handle live wires. Man, those rubber gloves give you something to think about.
Looks like someone's going to buy the beer tonight.
Sounds good to me.
About time, the old hot stuff spot. Sure thing.
Sure, I'll buy the beer. After that, the work just keeps getting better. Always something new. Always going somewhere. Then one day, all the bookwork done and everybody agreeing you got what it takes, you get your journeyman's card. Nobody makes a fuss, but that card is something. It's freedom, pure freedom. It means there's a whole lot of work you aren't ever going to have to do. By the time they get their journeyman's card, most guys are working on some of the good things in life, like a home, and looking forward to having a family. But somehow a lineman is still a guy who's got to be going somewhere. And he knows that if he really gets the bug to travel, he can sign on to work steel. Steel. The big cross-country transmission systems. Now I'll tell you, when you're a lineman working steel, all the world knows you got guts. When you're putting up transmission towers and stringing wire that's sometimes as thick as your wrist, what makes everything interesting is the altitude. 150, 180 feet or more in some cases. That's what you call living. And that lineman up in the tower, he's a king. Nobody, and that means nobody, gives him a bad time.
Send up a grip!
And when the lineman wants something, he expects action from the grunts on the ground, and he gets it.
Coming up!
He's got a right to it. It takes some kind of man to put up transmission towers.
In the hole!
Sometimes, especially when you're working rugged ground, building transmission towers is a job to beat them all. One thing that everybody notices out on the line is that a lot of the foremen are young. You move up the line in this business because you're good enough to cut it. And that's the only reason. And if you're real good, you move fast. Of course, it isn't exactly easy. All the work you do is being inspected all the time. The utility that's building the line has men on the job who really know the business. The job's not done until they say okay on every inch of it. And the line construction outfit never cuts corners because they have to count on a good reputation to keep them in business. So you see a lot of supervisors and executives on the job. A lot of them guys who started out climbing and who climbed right to the top of the business.
Well, I see you're ahead of schedule on this one. Trying to beat the rain, George?
No, with a little lead time that you gave us this time, we had a chance to pull her together.
I figured you'd say something like that.
Line construction executives. That's a reasonable bunch of men. Every one of them tough as a dry elm log. But they're no tougher than I am. Maybe I'll climb right up there with them. Might just do that. Once you've got that journeyman's card, you can plan just about any kind of future you're willing to work for. And on the way, you can do the kind of work that a man like me just has to do. Outdoors, where I can watch the sun work its way across the sky, or keep an eye on a rain cloud to see if it's going to pass me by. You tuck a journeyman lineman's card in your pocket, and you go to work where nobody watches over your shoulder. And all your life, you'll be going somewhere different, just about every day. Riding different roads, seeing different places, going somewhere. Man, that's all there is.
Going somewhere, greener pastures, new sunrises, rolling down the ribbon of the road. I see people bound my fences. Nobody builds no fence around me. Going somewhere, greener pastures, new sunrises, rolling down the ribbon of the road.